This American lawyer just silenced a woke student, and you won't believe what happened next.
No, gender is not disconnected from sex. So
it's not completely disconnected, but it's still a cultural thing. It's still from society. It's
okay, no.
Fiery campus debates to explosive TV showdowns, Ben Shapiro has made a name for himself by pushing back against the woke agenda.
As a mathematician and a physicist, what in the hell do you know about human biology?
And you got your law degree from Harvard.
Known for his sharp rhetoric and unapologetic style, Shapiro never shies away from tackling tough topics, particularly on modern gender politics and identity debates. At a recent event at the University of Wisconsin-Madison, Shapiro found himself in a
the term mother does not include father. Every category has to have boundaries. The boundary of female starts at male. And when you start including male in the category of female, you are threatening biological definitions as well as basic truth.
A heated debate with a student who thought they could outsmart him. The student argued that gender exists on a spectrum and that appearances shouldn't determine someone's gender. Shapiro, as expected, remained calm and unfazed. His response was direct and unrelenting.
Someone who exhibits said womanhood.
Okay, well, you have just used the word female and woman to define each other. So you say a woman is a female, but not a biological female. A female is a woman and a woman is a female, but at no point have you added any new content.
No, I said a woman is someone who exhibits womanhood.
Dismantling the student's points with logic and precision. What began as a debate quickly...
Okay, here's my problem with that particular argument. The answer is that in 99.8%, 99.9% of cases, you absolutely can gender somebody based on looking at them. Like, really, if you're going to use intersex people as an example of not being able to do that, this does not obviate the biological duality of sex upon which all progeneration is based for all of human history and for all mammalian species.
Turned into a masterclass in rhetoric, leaving the students speechless. A signature...
So the objective standard, here's the deal. For all of human history, there was an objective standard between male and female.
Moment for Shapiro. But that's not all. Shapiro has faced even more intense confrontations. On live TV, during an episode of Dr. Drew on Call, he clashed with transgender...
I can have every single biological characteristic of a male, and if I say I am female, then I am female. This is anti-scientific nonsense.
Activist Zoe Tur. The debate escalated when Shapiro referred to Tur as Sir, prompting an angry reaction. Tur seized Shapiro by the neck and warned him to stop that. The encounter quickly became one of Shapiro's most controversial moments, showcasing his ability to stand firm in the face of hostility. These fiery debates highlight Shapiro's unyielding...
Back to the brain scans.
You cut that out now, or you'll go home in an ambulance.
Yeah, that seems mildly inappropriate for a political discussion.
No, I know. Well, but wait, to be fair,
commitment to his beliefs, as he continues to challenge modern ideologies and spark nationwide conversations. Whether on campus or live TV, Shapiro's
Caitlyn Jenner, I'll call him Caitlyn Jenner.
No,
because
it's
that's
her. You're not being polite to the pronouns.
Because
disrespectful.
Okay, forget about the disrespect. Facts don't care about your feelings. It turns out that every chromosome, every cell in Caitlyn Jenner's body is male with the exception of some of his sperm cells.
Are as compelling as they are polarizing. The clash between Ben Shapiro and Zoe Tur on Dr. Drew on Call took a shocking turn when Tur grabbed Shapiro by the neck and warned, "You'll be leaving in an ambulance." Despite the physical threat, Shapiro stood his ground, refusing to be intimidated. The encounter made headlines not just for the aggression, but for Shapiro's unwavering stance on biological facts. What started as a heated debate transformed into a larger discussion about free speech and the right to express unpopular views without fear of violence. Shapiro's calm demeanor under pressure and his ability to articulate his position earned him both respect and criticism. For Shapiro, facts remain immutable, unaltered by feeling.
Pronouns are designed to differentiate between men and women, and that transgender women are not biological women, and that anything that attempts to overcome that argument is obfuscation rather than clarification.
Or threats. But his boldness extends beyond this single encounter. At Politicon 2017, Shapiro debated Blair White, a conservative transgender YouTuber, in a less confrontational yet equally...
Typically, I mean, I would try to avoid specifically offending you by using a pronoun that you don't like, but I also am not going to bow to the sort of social convention now that I'm supposed to use a pronoun of people's choosing rather than a pronoun that accurately describes the truth.
Intense exchange. Shapiro began by acknowledging individual rights but made his stance on biology unmistakably clear. White agreed on some points, but called for greater compassion. Caporal Shapiro, however, firmly differentiated between respecting personal freedoms and endorsing what he sees as scientifically flawed ideas, arguing society shouldn't be obligated to validate ideas.
And not everybody that the left says is alt-right is actually alt-right. I mean, the left calls me alt-right, which is patently insane.
Identities that conflict with biological realities. Shapiro's no-nonsense approach also sparked controversy at UC Berkeley, where his appearance led to widespread protests and a significant police presence. During the Q&A,
I think that teaching kids, as we are now being told, teaching kids that they must use preferred pronouns, or that men can become women, women can become men, sex doesn't exist, as a recent op-ed in the New York Times said, that's asinine, anti-scientific, and counterproductive.
Session, a student challenged Shapiro's refusal to use preferred pronouns. True to form, Shapiro responded with clarity and precision, further fueling the ongoing debate about free speech and societal norms. Ben Shapiro has consistently addressed the intersection of free speech and transgender rights, stating that while individuals have the right to identify as they wish, they cannot compel others to use specific terms. This stance was pivotal in the broader debate about balancing personal identity with freedom of expression. Shapiro argued that language shouldn't
to be able to talk.
I literally
about.
cited the DSM-5 in the speech, and it's called gender dysphoria, which is a term that I use throughout the speech, not gender
You
identity
sound like a
disorder,
bozo,
which is how it's
bro.
identified
And you get
in
no
the
pussy,
DSM-4.
and you can't even make your wife wet, bro. So what's good?
not be dictated by ideology, sparking both support and backlash. At the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, during an event titled Men Cannot Be Women, Shapiro faced
A framework of gender.
You're
you
right.
know?
Men and women don't exist in any other culture.
No.
In any.
Think
right.
about Native American.
Nailed it.
Third gender people. I'm not saying that. Third gender people exist in Native American societies, Western African societies, like Southern Native American societies, like Mexico. So in other places that are not white dominated,
And they
like
are
the United States or
incorrect.
Europe. And so you're
I'm saying
saying white.
they're biologically
So non-white
incorrect.
people. I'm a mathematician and a physicist.
a student who accused him of relying on outdated information. The majority of your claims are based on old data, the student argued, attempting to discredit his position. The student also suggested that Shapiro's beliefs were grounded in a Western colonial view of gender. However, Shapiro countered with his trademarked directness, effectively.
No, Ben, are your children circumcised? Did you circumcise your children?
Yes, I have two sons, and they're both circumcised.
Why would you do that? Isn't that kind of hypocritical?
Nope, I'm circumcised. My works just fine.
Why? Why is violating the bodily autonomy of an infant acceptable to you? And I can say, I'm a owner, and I can tell you, there's sensitivity right there, Ben, that is removed when you do a circumcision. Why is that okay to
Well,
you?
I don't mean to get personal, but I'm sure it doesn't seem like you could possibly have a basis for comparison.
Shutting down the argument. Shapiro has also debated the contentious issue of medical transitioning for minors. At a college event, a student attempted to challenge his position on puberty blockers, introducing circumcision into the discussion to suggest a double standard. Shapiro calmly addressed the provocation, emphasizing the serious long-term consequences of medical transition.
But I will say that there may be, you'll have to tell me, is it possible there's a political bias when it comes to safe space?
In children, he advocated for a cautious, informed approach to such irreversible decisions, ensuring his perspective was unambiguous. At Ferris State University, the dynamics became even more engaging. Shapiro confronted a student who argued that gender is...
So one of the big problems that you see in sort of the argument in favor of trans rights is this notion that gender and sex are completely separable. They're not completely separable. If they are completely separable, then this means that identifying people by their subjective gender really has no relevance as to whether they are a male or a female. Male and female are biological terms. So using terminology like male and female to describe a self-perception of maleness or femaleness is sort of a bizarre way of arguing whether a thing is a man or a woman. So here's my question. It's an argument that my friend Matt Walsh likes to make. What is a woman? Define what a woman is without reference to the word woman, please.
Purely a social construct. Despite the student's confident assertions, Shapiro maintained his composure and delivered a reasoned rebuttal. Throughout these debates, Shapiro's ability to stay composed and present clear arguments has made him a polarizing yet effective voice in the national conversation. Theories suggesting that gender is largely a performance shaped by societal influences were met with...
There have been lots of countries all over Europe that were not particularly civilized and were quite white. They have freedom, personal responsibility, separation of powers, God-given rights protected by a government elected with the consent of the government. These are the values of Western civilization.
With a sharp counter from Ben Shapiro. He quickly refuted this claim, emphasizing that while societal factors can impact perceptions of gender roles, the biological truths of sex remain unchanged by feelings or societal expectations. This moment highlighted Shapiro's ability to dissect complex arguments, while firmly adhering to his belief that biology is immutable. For Shapiro, these discussions go beyond simply winning debates. They reflect a deeper mission to defend a worldview he sees as under significant threat. Whether addressing the biological realities of gender, the risks of redefining foundational terms, or his opposition to medical transitioning for minors, Shapiro's concerns revolve around what he views as the erosion of objective truth. These debates are part of a larger cultural struggle, touching on free speech, the definition of gender, and the broader implications of political correctness. Shapiro's steadfast approach has made him a polarizing figure, but one whose voice continues to resonate in the ongoing conversation about societal norms. The fight for free speech and objective truth, as Shapiro sees it, is far from over. His push against political correctness and willingness to challenge prevailing ideologies suggest he'll remain a prominent figure in these debates. The future of open dialogue depends on voices like his, unafraid to question the status quo. What's your take? Do you agree with Ben Shapiro's views on gender and free speech? Share your thoughts in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates on these critical topics.